There we go. All right, and then bring yourself to settle into your seat. I'm a bit of a silhouette today in the way I can see it. All right, so you're nestling your bum into your chair. Let's just settle down. Welcome here today. It's almost like you're allowing the heavy particles of your body to rest down into your hips, even to sink down into your feet. You're feeling like the light particles of your body start to float upward. And then as you breathe, notice that you can assist this process. Just allowing yourself to grow a tiny bit taller. Relaxing your chin a little bit, checking in that the back of your neck feels long and unkinked. Let's mess with the shoulders, shrugging them up towards the ears, and then as you drop them down your back, just feel them rest on the top of the rib cage. Allow sit bones to be heavy, sinking into the chair. Notice as you breathe the expansion in your body. Pulling breath down into your belly. Feeling all of the open space under your ribs, all the way in the soft abdomen, all the way to the hips. Feel all of that space just expand and release with each breath. Let breath reach out through the ends of your fingers. Your hands are just dropped palm up on your lap. Just allow your fingers to gently uncurl as you inhale. And allow them to release and curl in a little bit as you exhale. Inviting that same breath down into your legs. Just feel like the toes, they might not kind of uncurl, but there's like just this little reach. They lift up the floor, off the floor a little bit as you inhale. And you let them settle back down to the floor as you exhale. See if you can do fingers and toes together. Doesn't have to be a big movement, it's just this nice expansion. As you consciously just curate breath, drawing it into your body. Nice. And let arms just fall to your side now. Spread the fingers really wide, and then just begin to rotate the wrists. Thumbs point up, thumbs point down. Inhaling, exhaling. Move at the elbow pit. Moving the elbow pit towards the floor and then back open to the ceiling. Draw your awareness to the top of the arm bone, rolling it forward and rolling it back. Feel how the shoulder blades would like to become involved. Notice how they want to curl forward as your arms roll forward. And they'd like to slide down your back ribs as your arms roll outward. Allow those shoulder blades to start to slide on the back ribs, up and down. The ribs are staying still at the moment. You're feeling the arms move, the shoulder blades slide. And now let's allow the rib cage to move. Yeah, so it feels like you're doing a little bit of a cat-cow, rolling forward, opening up. Just let the movement of your arms sweep as big or as small as it feels good today. Can you allow breath to come in? Big, beautiful breaths in. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so when that feels complete, we're just gonna end on the open, letting the shoulder blades slide down your back body, letting the arms hang by your side. Start to reach your right hand all the way down towards the floor. Let this left hand just creep up. It can stay on your rib cage, or you can reach it up at the same time as that right hand reaches down. Let your head just hang, and then soften the other way. That hand reaches down. The right hand can stay on your rib cage, or it can reach up. Let the palms stretch in opposite directions. Keep your breath moving here. This can totally displace breath. So see if you can go as far as you like. Maybe you stay kind of here, you reach and you notice, I can breathe really well if I leave my hand here. But if I take my hand here, I can't breathe. So you're just noticing that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Getting those side bends. All right, coming back to center. Hands not on your waist. Bring them up a little bit higher to ribs, and then roll the shoulders down your back. Squeeze your elbows back behind you, and then bring them forward. Squeeze the elbows back behind you and bring them forward. Breathe deep. And then roll those shoulders down your back. Let the elbows come out wide. Squeeze deeper and open deeper. Squeeze the elbows. Shoulder blades are opening and closing on the back body. See if you can keep your bottom ribs still. Actually, all your ribs. See if your whole rib cage can just stay in a really relaxed, turned off position. Yeah. Release that fingers to the ends of your knees. Arch your back and then pull and lift forward. Arch your back. Pull and lift forward. Breathe here, long and slow. Every time we come to our practice, we create new experiences in our body. We find new corners where movement last time wasn't possible and it is today. We notice how range of motion, tightness, pain changes day to day. And you're probably here because you notice that Tuesdays after yoga always feel better than Tuesdays when you skip yoga. So you're just breathing in, noticing if that truth is applicable to you as well. Coming back to center. Hands come to heart. Let's just allow the twist to begin. Remember the rule that we do not twist breath out of the body. We drop back into center and move to the side. But at no time do we twist so far that we can't breathe. Mm-hmm. That feels good. Come back to center. Nice. One more side bend. We're going to just, I don't care actually. If you want to take hands to this, just because moving your arms feels so good, go ahead. And if moving your arms doesn't feel so good, hands on waist or hands on shoulders. Just getting a slightly deeper side bend than we did when we were just going vertical with our arms. Breathing and releasing. Nice. Bringing yourself back to center, those shoulders roll down your back. So with your feet right now, just start to roll onto the tippy toes and then see if you can roll back to your heels. Sorry. So you can see wear good socks for that today. Yeah. Up and down. See if you can find one foot now, bringing it up where anywhere that your hand can find the foot. Grab all 5 toes and just do like, it's almost like wrist circles, but your toes are in your hand. Seeing what the tolerance of your foot is to be able to push the toes upwards towards your shin. Yeah, and then push the toes downwards towards the sole of your foot. Nice. Releasing that foot down, finding toes on the other side. Just grabbing all 5 toes, wrapping your fingers around them, rolling your wrists, taking the toes with you. You can even, if you feel like you're doing circles, you can change directions. Some of you feel like you're just going forward and back. That's fine too. Yeah. So then fold the toes down towards the sole of your foot. And then press them open, toenails towards the top of your foot. Yeah. Good. Releasing that foot comes back down. Slide your bum to the edge of your seat. Let your heels open wide, fingers stretch, and then we let our chest fall down, rolling. So rather than kind of lifting back up today and coming back down, just come down and then roll one shoulder up, roll the other shoulder up. Your elbows kind of open to the side. Keep the spine really long here. You've got, what I'm trying to do is put some weight in your wrists. You see when you lean forward and you press your hands into your thighs that you've got weight pressing down through the palm? I like that idea. We don't do enough cat-cow in this class. We will go there today. But I was just trying to think of ways to load the wrist, put some weight into the wrist without going to the floor. Coming back to center and inhale up. So good. Bring your feet back together. Just cross one leg over the other. Sit tall and lean. Just go till you feel a stretch sensation. Yeah, a couple breaths there. Spine is as straight as you can make it, because then you'll get the stretch in the hip instead of in the back. Come back up, untangle the foot, go to the other side, sit tall, and lean here. Yeah. Chin's relaxed. Stretch through the crown. Breathe. Breathe. Inhale up. Nice. Untangle those legs. Heels slide in towards the chair so that the toes are right underneath the knees. You know that we're going to lean again. Hands can be on the knees. Hands can come across your chest. Wherever they are, you're trying to use as little arm strength as possible to press yourself up. You'll come to some kind of pose like this, and then just start to stretch your back so that you feel like you're going from a curved back to as straight of a back as you can make it. Yeah. Nice work. Bend into your knees, start to straighten them. Notice the stretch into the backs of the legs here. Bend and straighten. Good. And then the next breath, hands come all the way up to the sky. Sweet. Come in right behind your chair, and then inhale those hands up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, hands to sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Breathing in. Breathing out. And in. And out. Yeah, one more time. And this time as hands come down to your heart center, let the fingers find the back of your chair and press yourself to that nice long flat back position again. Your chair is in front of you. Sit bones reaching behind you, bend into your knees, press the sit bones way back and keep breathing. Keep breathing as you sink lower, feel the stretch in the arms and the armpits and the shoulders. The hands can go wider on the chair if it feels like your shoulders want a bit of relief. Yeah. Sit bones pressing back behind you. And then inhale and come up. So good. All right, take a step back with your right foot and your left knee bends. Sweet. Press into that heel, reach through the front knee, and then allow the spine to start to be upright. Fingers get as light as they can on the back of the chair. So you can keep one finger there if it feels like your breath is more open, less restricted with a finger on the chair than a finger off the chair. Just check it. Can I breathe better here or here? Think of when you're in the eye doctor and the eye doctor keeps saying A or B. A or B. A or B. Stay where it's best for you. If it feels okay, breath is unrestricted and arms can leave chair, just reach them out in front of you. Breathe. Beautiful. Nice. As hands settle down to the chair, straighten that front leg. Here's where we want to tip forward, but not at the waist. Imagine your hips and your ribs stay sort of stacked on top below each other. You just begin to lean forward. Fold over the back of that chair. Breathe. Press into the both heels. Both back heels are pressing downward. Good. Now bend. I'm going to have to lift my torso first. Then bend your back knee, lifting and pressing down into that heel again. Bend your back knee. Good. Press down into the heel. Last time, bend the back knee. Press down into the heel. Bend the front knee. Press it straight. Bend. Press it straight. Bend. Press it straight. Good. Both feet press into the ground and you step forward. Back with the opposite foot. Yeah, front knee bends. Play the same game with your hands on the back of the chair. You always choose what's best for you. Remember how the eye doctor can't tell if A or B is better? The same way your yoga instructor can't tell which works best for you. So you test. If I keep this hand on the chair, is my breath good? Is it better with my left hand on the chair? Is it better with both? What if I just keep them there, but I lighten how much I'm touching? Maybe they feel okay lifting. Choose. Choose what feels good. Keep the breath long and steady. So good. As hands lower back down to the chair, straighten that front leg, lengthen through the spine, tailbone lifts, sit bones roll forward. Yeah. Breathe. Nice work. Okay, now we're going to come back up so that we can do 3 back knee bends. Bending, peeling the heel off the ground, and then pushing that heel back down. You can feel this in the toes, in the ankle joint, in the knee joint. Yeah. 3 times with the front knee. Nice. Both knees gently bend so that the back foot can step forward. Forward, long fold. Hands on the back of the chair. Knees can be as bent as you need them to be. Stretch here. Remember, you're thinking about your spine being as long as you can make it. Some of you will want to be closer to the chair because if you bend your elbows, you'll feel like you can get a flatter back. Yeah? Or you'll hang on to the edges of the chair because you'll feel like you can get a longer, flatter back. Breathe. And then come all the way back up again. So good. All right, let's just do those heel lifts with your feet touching. Come up and down. Remember, the fingers touching the back of the chair are as light as possible. You feel like you're going up more than you're going forward. Yeah. Here's the one we all hate. As your heels come down this time, sweep the right foot back behind you and touch the toenails to the floor. Gently allow the weight of the foot to just give you the stretch, or you can lean back into it. Good. And then release the other side. Left toenails press into the floor. Perhaps it's just the natural weight of the foot providing the stretch. Perhaps you lean. Breath, slow, steady, and strong. Unwind. So wiggle out your toes. Take them and like spread them wide and then crinkle them. Crinkle them in. Good. All right, standing sideways now, toes pointing forward. Let's allow for me, it'll be my right toes to turn and point towards the chair. My left hip to draw the whole pelvis out to the left. My right hand, forearm can come to that chair, or maybe I'm going to be standing a bit higher. Breathe. Push out through that hip. Lengthen this right side body so it doesn't feel like it's crunching. Feel like you pull the armpit as far away from the hip crease as you can. Top arm can open up or hand to waist. Breathe. Maybe you start to experiment with turning your eyes upwards, turning your chin and your neck. Just go where you can still breathe. Go where the neck feels okay. And then come back up. So good. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Left toes point towards the chair. Pelvis kicks towards the right. Nice length down the left side body. My armpit pulling away from the hip crease. Choosing what I'd like to do with that top arm. Breathing slowly. drawing and opening the body, reaching through the fingertips. Yeah. You're watching that you're not sort of capsizing into that bottom shoulder too. Like let your body sort of be strong. And so that that joint, the arm bone, isn't kind of feeling squished into the shoulder socket. Yeah. And then inhale and come all the way up. Sweet. As your hands come down to your hips, just let your heels turn in a bit and your toes turn out. You're slightly wider than hip width. Knees can open out to the side. Press through the soles of your feet to come back up. As you go down, you don't let the knees pop or crack or make too many noises. And as you come up again, you don't let them lock. So you're kind of finding this middle range where I can go down without getting stuck in the down position. And I can come up without getting stuck in the up position. Yeah, so you're keeping the joint in its middle range of motion, not at either end. Just noticing where that is for you. Push through the soles of the feet, lower. Yeah, lower. Last one. Coming back up. Sweet work. You can heel step those feet back together. Ground down through the soles of your feet. Yeah? Shoulders roll down your back. We're going to let one leg stay connected to the floor as we go to lift the right. So notice here too, this is another breath experiment. As I go to lift my right foot, do I stop breathing? Do I lean into this hand? How can I keep that breath feeling really open and fluid? Noticing, yeah, come up onto that toe. So you're either on the tippy toe or your foot's lifted a little. You choose. And now play around with this hand. What does your breath do when your hand's resting there? What does your breath do when you lift your hand? What if you put your hand down, but you let it rest lighter so that the left leg had to take more responsibility? What does breath do? The question in every experiment is, what does breath do? Nice. So all I want you to do here is keep the rest of your body still. You're going to open and close this leg. Now, if toes on the floor, you can drag it open, drag it closed. Drag's a bad word. Swing. Swing it open. Yeah. Oh, you can feel all sorts of muscles turning on. If this is getting your low back, I need your left leg to have a little tiny bend in it. I need your hips to relax downward. Yeah, if you do those things, this left leg's all of a sudden going to be, crap, that just got a lot harder. Better than your back saying, crap, it got a lot harder. And then come down. Oh, you can feel that work. Nice. Okay, I'm going to come to the other side. You guys decide what you need for furniture. Hand resting. Right hand taking weight. Right heel planted, left heel starting to rise. Shoulders relaxed, spine tall. You can come to the tippy toe and sweep, or you can lift and sweep. Remember, your goal here is to notice what your hand touching the chair does for your breath. Breath easier if hands touch. Is breath easier? So good. Yeah, all right, bring that leg in. Whew. So now you're gonna wanna just sweep the hips over to the right, over to the left. Just let them move side to side. Let's do hula hoops. Whatever direction your hula hoops are going right now, let them change and go the other direction. All right, so now we're going to come back to center. Before we go to the next pose, let's just do a check-in. So soles of your feet hip width apart. Shoulders drop down your back. Feel your breath between the crown of your head and the soles of your feet. Nice, isn't it? Just noticing that pulsation, the energy moving through your body. It's like a current. Your awareness of that breath is just feeling so good and juicy now. All right, in our quest to play more with our wrists, I want you to turn the chair around so that you can put the palms into the seat of your chair. And then we're going to stand in front of it. Inhale, hands to sky. Big forward fold. So play so that you lean those shoulders right on top of the wrists, and then you walk your feet right on top of the hips. And you choose what feels best for you here. If your back feels rounded here, then bend your knees so that it feels like you could have a long flat back. And then I want you to just lean forward, feel fingers, and lean back. So that there's a movement of your arm bones in the wrist socket. Look down and think about pressing the thumb and the forefinger, that netting between those pieces of your palm into the ground, into the chair. Good. And then release. I don't know how comfy this is going to be. So just take one hand and I want you to put it backwards. Be gentle. Come up and then roll the opposite hand down onto the chair. Be gentle. Good. Palms on the chair. Walk your feet back, bend your knees deep, and take a deeper stretch. Walk your feet back, bend your knees, deeper stretch. Good. Coming back up. One hand, my right hand reaches underneath my left armpit, and then I lift my elbow or my fingers up, and then I reach. So the first one I want you to do without your right heel coming off the ground, keeping that right heel rested, keeping your hips and knees still. Breathe, find your inhale and your exhale. Last one, and hand comes down. Opposite side, right armpit opens up and your left hand stretches underneath it, bringing elbow to the sky. So you're watching that the heel doesn't want to pop up as the elbow lifts. Keep the heel down. Redirect that twist into the mid-back by keeping that heel down. It might mean you gotta have to go slower. It might mean that you have to go softer. Yeah. Good, now release that. This time if you want, heel can lift. So I can reach, and when I come up, I can let my right heel come up. Left hand reaches. Left heel can come up. Nice. Stretch and come up. Come down. Stretch and come up. It's not quite as easy to change sides on this one. Yeah. One more on each side. And then come back to center. Okay, because it'll feel good, walk your feet backwards, bend your knees, and stretch. Shake your head a little bit in between your elbows. Relax the back of your neck. Breathe. Pulling hips back behind you. And then inhale, coming up. Inhale all the way up. Hands drop to your heart. Nice work. Good. Okay. So let's Take, do we have one more standing pose today? Let's change this chair around for the next standing pose. We'll do one more balance. We'll do tree. And I just want you to do the same observation with your breath so that there's always a hand on the chair if it keeps your breath more open. Soft shoulders, tall spine, relaxed chin. Right heel lifts up. Toes can stay on the floor, knee can turn open, or toes and sole of the foot can slide up the left inseam. Choose your position for this pose. Remember, you're staying at the spot where you can breathe the best. And then release. Yeah. Ground down. Right foot stays connected. Left heel lifts. Knee opens to the side. And then release. One last check-in in Shavasana here. Just soles of the feet planted, crown of the head tall, shoulders rolled down your back. Breathing here. And then relax. Nice. Before we go anywhere else, just let yourself have a little shake. You can let the whole body just shake up and down, swing your arms. You might even be like just patting things a little bit. Kind of some qigong tricks happening there. Good. Okay, so I am going to do some cat and cow today. And I want you to have whatever prop you might need. So if you do have that block in your possession, we can play with it. If not, you're going to have a blanket. So when you come down, you're using your chair perhaps. You can do whatever you like, but you're coming to this hands and knees position. This is how the block can help you here. First of all, you're checking underneath your knees. If you need any extra support there, you can get it with blankets. Now, if there's tension in the wrist, sometimes all you need to do is just roll from the heel of the palm forward, pressing the knuckles down, pressing the fingers down, and notice if that alleviates tension. Sometimes you can lift the heel of the palm up onto a blanket, just like a little folded blanket or the folded edge of a yoga mat. Sometimes you want it to be a little bit higher. Palm stays lifted and the fingers are lower. So your hand isn't quite at that 90-degree angle anymore. It's better. Now, if this doesn't feel nice, this is where the block can come in. Because sometimes if you can just curl your fingers around the edge of a block, that alleviates tension as well. Nice. So you're just finding the right setup for your wrists before we can come to cat and cow. Letting the breath sweep from your tailbone up to the crown of your head. Remember, it's not your goal to move the low back as much as you can. In fact, sometimes the low back is that hypermobile area, and you need to sort of let movement be still there and try and cultivate it in the places that are tight. Good. Release that and do big circles with your torso, as if your torso was a cement truck. Trying to keep that cement from hardening inside the barrel. Roll the other way. Good. So now imagine that your back had just like a steel tube encasing your whole spine from the crown of your head to your tailbone. And then when you sort of sink back and sink forward again, pull back and pull forward, the spine is straight because it's encased in that steel pipe. So the wrists, the hips, the shoulders, and the knees are your joints. And you can feel yourself putting weight into the wrists and then sinking back. Every time you're coming forward, the knees and the wrists taking more weight, load. And every time you sink back, the hips and the armpits feeling more stretch. Yeah. Back staying straight. Good. And come up to center. Nice. So however you want to move from this position a little bit further, so you're going to allow your bum to come down onto the ground. And the feet to swing forward in front of you. I'm going to fold that blanket and it's going to become a pillow for me. And slowly you can release yourself down towards the ground. So this is where you take your time. You put any extra supports underneath you that you like. Let's allow the right leg to straighten in front of us. Draw the left knee in. Fingers can just hug that knee. So your right leg doesn't have to be all the way straight. It can be halfway straight. It can be somewhere in that continuum, wherever it's most comfortable. And then my right hand is just going to gently draw my knee over to the side. My left arm opens up. Breathe here and just release the side body. Feel the tightness between the hip and the armpit. Make this movement as small as it needs to be so the breath still feels big. Coming back to center. Foot comes down. All right. Left leg straightens, right knee comes into chest. Left leg, remember, straight is all relative. You're taking it out as far as it goes comfortably without pinching your low back. And then left hand takes the knee, right arm opens, and you just begin to gently pull that knee to the side. And bring it back to center. Good. As you set your heels down, bring them close to your bum for a moment. Let your hands plant beside your hips. We're going to do a little bridge. For you, it could be pressing into the palms, pressing into the feet, and thinking about lifting your back. And you're practicing, if the back has pain in it, you're practicing, how could my feet do this work instead of my back? If you have that block and you want to practice using it here, sometimes pressing the block together with your thighs can teach your body how to use the strong thighs to lift your hips up rather than the low back. So if you have low back pain when you go to lift your hips, I highly recommend that block trick. Thighs squeezed together, feet pressed into the ground, allowing the hips to rise. Your palms are just reaching downward. They can be pressing, the forearms can be pressing, and then come down. So you're releasing that pose. Your knees can come into your chest. I like to just cross my ankles and do some little rolls to the right or clockwise. And then whatever the other way is for you. You're doing a version of Happy Baby now. So this one calls for your hands to slide behind your thighs, pulling the knees in towards your armpits, and then starting to reach your feet up to the sky. So you've got some choices with your hand hold here. Your hands can stay holding the backs of the thighs. They could reach up and pull the calves down gently, or they could find the soles of the feet and draw the knees into the armpits. So whichever pose you've chosen with the hand hold, just find that spot and then unroll the tailbone down towards the mat. Press the tailbone to the floor. Allow the shoulders to relax to the mat. Breathe here. Nice work. Slowly release. So this time you've got some choices again. Soles of your feet come together, land on the floor. As you allow knees to open, if I was in class right now, I'd be telling you to put your blocks underneath your knees to catch those open legs. You might even have couch cushions going in to catch those open legs. If you don't have that kind of support, then the feet can stay on the ground, knees can fold in towards each other, tenting. And find your stillness. If it's not comfortable for you to be flat on your back, you feel free to turn and lie on your side with a prop under your head. In that side lying position, the block again can support the top knee. Mostly you're watching breath in the body. Just noticing how you experienced the movement today. Noticing how you experience breath in your body. Notice how your brain feels where you just make it focus on you for this whole time. And gently beginning to let movement come back into your body. You're making any movements that feel necessary and good for you today. You're moving slowly. You're coming back up to your seat, to your chair, or to standing, whatever feels right. in that moment where we say namaste. The light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. I had a friend say to me recently, we should really be saying that at the beginning of class or whenever we first see each other, whenever we first greet each other. In a world that feels so divided right now, what if we met people and we saw past all their political beliefs and all of their self-stories and their personalities, and we could just see that inside of each person is someone really great. And we recognize that because we know underneath all of those layers of us is that same greatness. Yeah, what a world this would be if we practiced that. Namaste, everyone. Stay safe.
Namaste.